Okay. We are covering another short snippet from Genesis this morning. We're on part 6. Let's start out with a quote and we'll gain some understanding for what we're going to talk about because they go together pretty well. The short quote: I am past 30 and 3 parts iced over. This is a letter to A.H. Cloth, 12th of February, 1853. 1853. Oh, I am past 30 and 3 parts iced over. What is this referring to? This is referring to age or aging. During this time, back in 1853, 30 was up there in years. You were then over the hill by age 30, and some may even argue it's like that still. Once you hit 30, that's it. You are considered an old person. No, I am joking. I digress. We know it's a little bit different maybe than the Bible because while people are living till much, much later, 150, 170, what have you, it's nothing like before where it was like 900 to 1,000 years, 800 years. People were living much, much shorter lives, but nonetheless very lengthy and full lives, as it is talked about in the scriptures that we are going to read. But anyways, talking about aging, so now we are going to learn a little bit and discuss a little bit about the death of some people and their age stories. Their life stories, yes. But no, they are not 30 when they are over the hill. I think over the hill is considered to be 100 or something of the sort during this time. Let's go ahead and discuss. We're going to begin chapter 23, verse 1. Sarah lived to be 127 years old. She died at Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham went to mourn for Sarah and to weep over her. Then Abraham rose and bowed down before, let me just fix this, and bowed down before the people of the land, the Hittites. He said to them, if you are willing to let me bury my dead, then listen to me and intercede with Ephron, son of Zohar, on my behalf. So he will sell me the cave of Machpelah, which belongs to him and is at the end of the field. At the end of his field. Ask him to sell it to me for the full price as the burial site among you. So Ephron's field in Machpelah near Mamre, both the field and the cave in it, and all the trees within the borders of the field was deeded to Abraham and his property in the presence of all the Hittites who had come to the gate of the city. So, sad story. Sarah had died, right? Sarah had gotten to the top of her age and she had passed away. Abraham is partitioning to the people of the land to let him marry her there, and they're like, of course, you've been very good to us. You've been a great member of our community and such. Therefore, of course, we will help you get this land from the king and you can bury your dead. So that was great. They had like a little treaty among them as well. Next, chapter 24, verse 1. Now Abraham was now very old, and the Lord had blessed him in every way. He said to the senior servant in his household, the one in charge of all that he had, put your hand under my thigh. The Lord God of heaven, who brought me out of my father's household and my native land, and who spoke to me and promised me on oath, saying, to your offspring I will give this land, he will send his angel before you, so that you can get a wife for my son from there. So basically he's giving his servant his dying wishes. He's saying, come close, put your hand on my thigh or under my thigh, whatever the custom was there. And he told him, please go find a wife for my son. But Abraham has a stipulation. Not just any wife. He wants Isaac's wife to be of his own tribe, of his own family, essentially. Related, nothing like a sister or anything like that, more like a cousin. It was just custom back then. But yes, the servant hurried to meet her. Basically, he sent the servant away to go to the land where his father's tribe was, etc. But anyways, the servant hurried to meet her and said, "Please give me a little water from your jar," saying, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not abandoned his kindness and faithfulness to my master. As for me, the Lord had led me on the journey to the house of my master's relatives. And my master made me swear an oath and said, 'You must not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, and whose land I live, but go to my father's family and to my own clan and get a wife for my son.'" So essentially, he goes on his way, he finds the land, stops at a well, and he prays. He's like, "Please send me somebody who offers me a drink of water and offers my camels a drink of water, and that will be the one that I choose." So we'll learn about who this is. But this woman comes up and offers water, and then he's praising the Lord because he's like, "Great, he led me to her." There was full understanding in that way. I asked her, "Whose daughter are you?" She said, "The daughter of Bethuel, son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him." Then I put the ring in her nose and the bracelets on her arms. Then they said, "Let us call the young woman and ask her about it." So they called Rebekah and asked her, "Will you go with this man?" "I will go," she said. Then the servant told Isaac all he had done, and Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah, and he married Rebekah. So she became his wife, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So, great. He found the girl. She was very sweet, right? I mean, I put this, but you know what I mean. Like, very, very gracious, very hospitable to the servant. And the servant got so excited, he started telling the story to Abraham's family, his distant relatives. I think it was his brother. I think we'll learn more about it. Anyways, Isaac, who was this? Who's that? You said, "Son of Bethuel, son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him." I think it was his. I'm not going to get into it right now. I knew earlier, but I didn't. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. He found Rebekah. Rebekah was willing to go back and meet Isaac, and then she fell in love with Isaac. Immediately, they became married. Boom, 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 just like that. But it was a good thing because Isaac felt comforted. His mom just died, and it was like a good memento. Anyways, going on to chapter 25, Abraham left everything he owned to Isaac. But while he was still living, he gave his gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them away from his son Isaac to the land of the east. Abraham lived 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, an old man and full of years, and he was gathered to his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in a cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar the Hittite. The field Abraham bought from the Hittites. There Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. So now it's Abraham's time. And we learn he died at 175 years old, and he was buried with his wife in the field that they had bought. Last little bit here in chapter 25, Ishmael lived 137 years. He breathed his last and died, and he was gathered to his people. So who was Ishmael again? We kind of jump forward just a bit, but not too far off, because that was Abraham's first son. His first son by his wife's slave, Hagar. So Ishmael grew. We didn't really hear too much about him, but he has like a whole line that we will soon learn about. But yes, Ishmael lived 137 years, and then he died as well. So I can see, and I hope you can see how that quote related. We're talking about people in their 30s claiming that they are 3 parts iced over. They're halfway gone. This was back in 1853. But we learn often about these long lives that people had, especially in the Old Testament. Long lives, over 100 years old, full lives. They, do everything that they want to do. And it's, again, not nearly as long as some of the people that were living before, but it was just the right and the necessary age to really just accomplish everything that needed to be done. as far as, marrying off your son or whatever. Just, good life goals. We can argue it is the same today, right? Yep, that's it, you guys. Talking about the old folk and some honorable deaths, okay? That's pretty much it. We learned a little bit about Rebecca, everybody. Ishmael had also passed away. But that is it, you guys. That's all I have for today. I'm not going to just sit on here and ramble because it's time for my day to begin officially out in the world. But I hope you have a great rest of your day and or evening whenever you're watching. And God bless you. Bye-bye.